I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I'm the founder of Food Truck Training Group on Facebook, co-owner with my beautiful wife, Melissa, of our own food truck. It's called Food Truck 101, and I'm the executive director of the National Street Food Vendors Association, which is a nonprofit dedicated to education, advocacy, and uplifting all food vendors. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about the Food Truck Owners Expo that we had just last week. But before we get into that, I want to thank Table Needs for sponsoring this episode of the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. Table Needs is a full-service POS system capable of handling your busy food truck, cash, credit card, and reporting needs. If you guys would like more information about Table Needs, there's a link in the description to make that happen. Earlier this week on the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast, I talked to you guys about the Pizza Expo and the Florida Restaurant Show. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we did at the Food Truck Owners Expo. Now, since I was there not only as somebody giving classes, I was also there representing the National Street Food Vendors Association. So I had to arrive one day early to set up our booth, and I had some help from our partners that are helping get this association going. So a couple people came and helped us out as well there. So we got everything all set up. We had 2 backgrounds to set up. We had tables to set up, and we had to figure all this out kind of on the fly since we had a 10 by 20 booth and we'd never set up in that big of a space before. So we had to kind of figure out where's everything going to go. Within our booth, we had a high top table, a couple of director's chairs, and then all the little things that we were giving away on that table. And I also, of course, provided a place for us to sit down. We had a TV that was running on a loop, some of the different things that I do as far as classes go. And then we had a table that was set up with my books on it and a couple other little giveaway things that we had. The idea was for me to hang out in that booth primarily once I got done with all of my education classes so that people could come there and meet. If you guys remember when I talked about Houston, I was always on the move of being pulled everywhere. Let's go see this. You got to talk to this person. You got to go to talk to that person. So I wanted to make that effort of staying within my booth. And I tried my best. I wasn't always there, but I definitely did try my best. So we get everything all set up on the Monday, which was the 11th. We had been on the go since the Tuesday the week before, so we were kind of looking forward to relaxing a little bit. So we get to the hotel. They set us up in a really, really nice hotel. Get all checked in, and Melissa and I go out for something to eat and get ready to start off an awesome day the next day. So on Tuesday, I get up and I want to be at the expo about 8:30. My first class that day wasn't until, I believe, 9:55, so it would give me enough time to just kind of get oriented to how the expo floor was set up and then just kind of figure out where I'm supposed to be. They had 4 different rooms for the education, and I had to figure out which room I was supposed to be in at what time. So, of course, since I'm there and a lot of people recognize me, I had a whole bunch of people wanting to talk to me, which is fine. I kind of expected that. Houston taught me that a lot of people know me and they want to talk to me. So I had people talking to me all day long. So anyway, I give my first class. It is on writing a profitable menu. Now, this is essentially the same class that I gave in Houston, but I did change a couple of things in it to make it flow better and just to be a better presentation. We're always working on making the presentations better. So I have everything set up, get in there, and the room is pretty darn full. Now, I'm the second speaker, so there was somebody in the room before me, and they were lingering. It's like, dude, you need to unplug your laptop because I really don't want to touch somebody else's equipment so that I can set up. And then the guy looked up at me and said, oh, you're the next speaker. Okay. I don't know exactly who you are, but yes, I am the next speaker. So he unplugged his laptop and I get plugged in, get the microphone set, and they wanted to have a lapel microphone so they could record my session. So we ended up starting a minute or two late, and you guys know I hate starting late, but I go ahead and do that presentation. The neat thing about this particular room was I don't know how many people it seated. Someone says it seats 100. I don't know. I didn't actually count the seats, but it was standing room only. We had probably a dozen people standing up all around the sides and in the back. And there were people that tried to come in the back and then saw how full the room was and then left. Either that or they saw me and left. One or the other. But in any case, gave the presentation, and because there were so many people there and a couple people asked some questions, I went long. So I had to go through the last handful of slides really, really quickly. And I apologized to everyone and said, hey, if there's something you want to talk to me about, just join me out in the floor and I'll answer those questions. But I did give people access to the full presentation and a couple other little neat things that they could have to help them with their menu writing process. So that was an awesome class. Then I had immediately after that in a different room another class, and that was on marketing. So I go straight over there to do the marketing one, and I expected it to be like it was in Houston. When I did the marketing class in Houston, it was not as well attended, so I thought there would be a drop-off in attendance. And pretty much everyone that followed me in the food cost one, or the menu writing one, followed me down there, and we had another almost completely packed room. This one had a few odds and ends empty chairs, but it was pretty darn full. And there were eventually a few people standing up as well. So we had that class, and it was awesome class. People asking good questions as we got to the end of the presentation. But of course, I was on a time span, so y'all can join me out on the main expo floor if you have any further questions. So I get done with that class, and of course, people want to talk to me and take pictures, and hey, I've got a book, would you autograph it, that kind of thing, which I still can't get used to. I'm not used to attention. But it was a very, very good feeling. Everybody that was there made me feel extremely welcome. And I was looking forward to getting out on the floor, the main expo floor, and actually sitting down and letting people come talk to me. My vision for what I wanted for our part of the expo floor didn't happen. What I envisioned was there would be a couple of chairs, so I would sit down and people can come sit and join me. Didn't happen. They took away all of our chairs. I don't know who gave that order, but the day before we had 4 chairs plus our high top table. When I got to the booth, all the chairs were gone, and the only thing was left was the high top, which was the center. That would not be a good place for people to sit and come talk to me. So, had to kind of figure out on the fly what to do. The floor was not supposed to open to the general public until 1 o'clock. So I'm figuring I got time to eat. I got time to get ready. Well, one of the organizers comes by and says, we're going to open it at 12:30. They were holding all the people that wanted to come into the floor because they're starting to line up. It's like, well, oh crap, I'm not going to be able to eat. And that was a big deal. They told me in Houston, you got to take time to eat. Now, I am a restaurant person. I'm used to eating whenever I can take a bite. And I'm also used to eating really, really cold food because I make something at 1 o'clock and can't get to eat it until 2 o'clock. That's not that uncommon when you work in a restaurant. So I can go all day long without eating. But everybody's real worried about me. You're looking tired. You need to get something to eat. I'm tired because I'm 65 years old and I'm not used to this kind of pace. But I don't need to eat. But they were all worried about me. Then all of a sudden, because they wanted to have that moment of opening up the doors and a whole bunch of people flood in. Oh, well, can't eat. Don't worry about it. I don't care. Just bring them on. So they open up the doors. Now, we are the second booth in from the doors. Table Needs, who you guys hear me talk about all the time, was right beside us. They were the first booth, and then our booth was the next one. And then Custom Pro Builders was across the way from us. They had a trailer set up, big, beautiful trailer. So everybody floods in, and they come straight to our booth. We had a good 50, 60 people just there, wanting to talk to me. Every single one of them, it seemed like. So they all waited their turn as I talked to everybody, maybe 2-3 minutes. A couple people were a little bit more talkative. A couple people made me be a little bit more talkative. And eventually got through all of those people. And it was just amazing. The outpour of, hey, can you help us do something? Really good questions being asked. People going all over the expo floor looking at all the different exhibitors and very, very interested in the business. We had a lot more people that actually own food trucks and food trailers, but it was a very, very neat experience. Now, the problem became, if you guys remember from all my introductions the last year or so, Bill is kicking off those campfire sessions, which started at 1 o'clock. So they let people in at 12 o'clock or 12:30, and they all came to see me, or at least that's what it felt like. So I'm having to look at my phone to see when 1 o'clock rolls around. And then the organizers are texting me, hey, you need to be over here. Well, y'all let people in and they're talking to me. I can't be 2 places at once. So I had to excuse myself to go and give those campfire sessions. Now, one of the things that I did in Houston was I gave 90% of all the campfire sessions. And I told them this year, or at this expo, I only wanted to do 1 a day. I'll kick them off, and then it's up to y'all to fill up all the rest of the spots. Now, on the first one, I had a couple of food truck owners from Houston that flew out to help us with our booth, and that's Devon and Shakina. And as I said, they're food truck owners, and they each They actually have 2 food trucks. So I let them help me with the first day's topic, which was what's better, to sit in one place, like in a food truck court, or is it better to move around from place to place? So I had them join me for that particular topic, and we did what I felt like was a really good job. They gave some good pointers and good advice, and then I gave my perspective as someone who's done both for a number of years, and it was a good talk. And that was another standing room only little talk. It wasn't 100 people. It was probably 20 or 30. But all the seats were taken up. Everybody was asking good questions. It was just a neat experience. Now, what was also interesting is once that got over, I told them, I'm doing the first one. There was no speaker for the next one. I'm laying the microphone down. I'm out. It's up to you guys to get the next speaker up here, not me. So I laid the microphone down and went on over to my booth to join all the people that were there waiting on me. And I tried my best to stay there. But some people would ask me questions and say like, hey, have you seen this product? And they described a product I'd never seen before. And I said, well, let's go look at it, because they wanted my opinion. It was just an absolute fantastic experience. Melissa brought me some food. I got to eat. It was all in all a great day. I hated when it ended because I just wanted to keep going, because when you get to that adrenaline rush, you never want the meal period to end. We're fired up. Let's go. I want to keep selling. Let's go. It was a great experience. So now the second day, the 2 classes that I'm giving were the very first class and the very last class. So I was super excited about that, because now I had time in between the classes to talk to people. So the first class that I give is talking really about the association, what we can do to help food truck owners. And that one was not very well attended. As near as I can remember, there were 12, maybe 20 people. And that's a big maybe. Now remember, the rooms would seat, they tell me 100. I don't know. They seat a bunch of people. So the room was very empty. But I gave everything that I got. We're going to talk about this. I'm glad y'all are here. People ask me questions. It was a good session. Because you guys know that even when I give my master classes, if there is only one person, I will give them 110%, just like I would if there was 100 people. So the 10 or 12 or 20 or however many it was that did come, I appreciate them being there, because we're going to make a difference in this industry, and it has to start somewhere. If I start with 10 people, then I start with 10 people. But in any case, as soon as that class gets over, I've got somebody who wants to talk to me. So I talked to him, and he's asking me questions about my spreadsheet, and he must have downloaded an older version, because I don't have any spreadsheets that have a lot of blocked cells or locked cells. I try to make everything open, especially in my newer spreadsheets, so that people can learn. So he must have downloaded an older one. And I said, well, there's no password. Just go to the little tab that says review and then click on password, and it'll open it, because I don't put in passwords on spreadsheets. So we talked and talked and talked, and I'm looking at my watch going, I got to get to this class. And I finally had to end the conversation. I said, just come back and see me later, which, well, he never did. But in any case, I went to my next class and was figuring, well, the second day's lightly attended because my first class wasn't full. And the next class that I gave was really not a class. It was an Ask Me Anything session with Justin Prestige. He is a builder, very good builder, has a very solid product, and he wanted us to do something together. We also wanted to get the local health department, and in Florida, that's called the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. We wanted to get them to sit down with us so we would have those 3 perspectives. You'd have the inspector, you would have the operations dude, and you would have the builder. So we got everything kind of covered. Well, they didn't participate. I don't know why they didn't answer my emails, and I never got to see them in the show. But in any case, we were there and answering any kind of question. A lot of people asked questions that Justin could answer. A lot of people asked questions that I could answer. And it was a very, very good session. It was well attended. I'm pretty sure that was also standing room only. And if it wasn't standing room only, it was really, really close. But we were answering questions all the way up till the end time, and they had to just cut us off. One of the people from one of the organizers came up to us and said, y'all could have kept going. And we're both like, yeah, we could have kept going another hour easy. So next year when we do them, and they did announce where we're going to be next year, I'm going to ask if we can have 2 hours to do that, because they were asking such good questions that I didn't want it to end, but I had to go be somewhere else. So in any case, we get done with that particular class, and now it's time to get back out on the floor, because they're going to open up the doors again a half hour early. So I spent a whole bunch of time in my booth, and then being asked to go and look at other things around the show floor. As it started to wind down and there were fewer and fewer people there, I actually got to go interact with a lot of the other display people. And it's just an amazing feeling to talk to other vendors, to talk to other suppliers, to talk to just the exhibitors. There was a whole lot of passion in that room. A whole lot of people wanted to make this industry better. And then the people that were there learning were just open books. They were asking questions. They were thinking through the processes. If you've never been to a show, you've got to go to one of these next year. We're doing one in the middle of July, I believe, and I can't remember the dates, so I'm not even going to say them, but it's the middle of July, and it's going to be in Las Vegas. Now, before you say, well, it's the middle of our peak period, no matter when we select the dates, there's always going to be a conflict with somebody somewhere with their peak date. So I'm not the one that selects the dates. That's the organizers. That's their job. They just ask me for my input, and I tell them, no matter when you pick, there's going to be somebody out there whining about, we've got this festival and I can't come, wah, wah, wah. Make a decision. It's your business. If you want to learn and become better and grow as a business, by all means, let's get out there. If you have a job and you're worried about losing income over a 2-day period or 3-day, however long it takes you to make that trip, and you can't come, I understand that. But I'm telling you right now, you don't have a business. You have a job that's dependent upon you showing up to keep the business going. You have a business when you can go do things and the business still functions without you. There's where you need to be. If you feel like you can't miss the 2 days worth of business, or if it takes you 4 days, if you feel like you can't miss that, that should be, just like Bill Engvall says, here's your sign. You need to be at that expo. I'm going to give all new classes next time. The organizers don't know that yet, but I'm giving new classes because I see a need for the people that attended and the things that they were asking me. We need to have a class on that. There are things that you guys need that need to be addressed. I'm going to make that happen. Now, the other cold weather expo is going to be in December, the first week of December. I believe that one I know is the 2nd and 3rd because it follows my son's birthday. And that's going to be in New Jersey. I can't remember which city. It will be in New Jersey, but it'll be in New Jersey. Of course, the challenge there becomes it's winter. Could be snowy. It's also a time when a lot of people, especially in the Mid-South and South, are doing a whole bunch of fair weather festivals and other kind of things. So there's people going to whine about that. Why y'all having a den? This is our busy season. Like I said, no matter when we select, somebody somewhere is going to have to make a decision. Do I go to this money-making event or do I go to this educational event to where I can make more money in the future? That's the decision. And if it is, well, I can't attend because I don't have the money because I need to have these sales, here's your sign. You need to go to the expo. Because if you're not making money to the point where you can take a couple of days off, you really don't have a business. You got a job. I want to get you out of that thought process. I want you to make money to be able to go fishing when you want to go fish. I want you to be able to go camping with your kids when you want to go camping. I want you to be able to go to an educational seminar to where you can make more money in the future and not fret over, well, I can't miss this big event. If you can't miss it, that should be an indication you need to miss it so you can learn how to manage your money better in the future, manage your business better. But please, consider coming to the 2 expos we got going on next year. They're going to be bigger. They're going to be better. And I certainly hope I can meet each and every one of you there. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding what we do helpful in your business, please consider subscribing. And if you really like what we do, show us some support. There's a link in the description to make that happen. Until next time, you guys have a profitable day.